All right. Hi, and welcome to the Prince George's County Utility Assistance Town Hall. My name is David Sloan from the Office of the County Executive, and we are thrilled that you have joined us this evening or have accessed this recording of our event on your own time. We have a thoughtful agenda for you this evening. You'll hear from our County Executive, Angela Alsobrooks, the Alsobrooks administration, and representatives of area utilities and support organizations, including WSSC, Washington Gas, the Salvation Army, and Pepco. And we'll have the opportunity to address questions submitted by Prince Georgians from across the county. Since taking office, the county executive has been committed to communicating honestly and thoroughly with you and our entire collective family of Prince Georgians. And additionally, in the midst of this pandemic, she has empowered your government to act and to act with compassion, emphasizing policymaking that's thoughtful and always focused on preserving lives. Finally, the county executive has been committed to bringing our residents together with our partners, whenever possible, to ensure that we're communicating about our collective efforts to provide relief to folks who have been negatively affected during our battle with COVID-19. Tonight is another strong example of that work. And now please welcome our executive, the Honorable Angela Alsobrooks.
Well, good evening, everyone. I first want to say thank you so much to David Sloan for leading us this evening. And I want to thank all of you all so much for joining us. As I begin tonight, I want to say this is going to be an amazing utility assistance town hall. I want to thank everyone who was responsible for planning it tonight. You are in for a treat. There are some amazing panelists who will be speaking in just a moment. And I do want to acknowledge and thank them, beginning with our fearless moderator, Brandon Starks, who you will hear from in just a moment. I'd like to likewise acknowledge and thank, first of all, from the Department of Social Services, Associate Director Renee Enzor-Pope, who you will hear from. Also WSSC Water Division Manager Kelly Kaplan. I'd like to also thank Washington Gas Customer Experience Director Deshandra Jones, Emery Brown, who's representing Pepco and the Salvation Army, and thank each of you for sharing your time with us this evening. We certainly look forward to the wisdom and information that you will share. As you all know, we continue to battle COVID-19 in our county. Since last March, the effects of this pandemic they really affected all of us. In some shape, form, or fashion. We have had nearly 85,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Prince George's County, and we were hit harder than the rest of the state. In addition to the health challenges that we experienced, we know that the economic impacts were significant as well, as we saw 150,000 plus Prince Georgians who suddenly lost their jobs. Businesses around the region were also impacted as the pandemic forced businesses to temporarily shut down. But through the darkest days of this pandemic, we pressed forward with the belief that we would get through this crisis, and we knew that we would get through it because we would do so together. As Prince George's County always says, this would not be the final say. COVID-19 would not have the final say. And guess what? Prince Georgians have made sure that this is true. Our essential workers, our frontline employees really did face the pandemic head on and gave a marvelous service to us in order to keep the county operating and also to help us care for those who became sick. Members of our community came together and community service efforts to make sure that all of our vulnerable residents were not overlooked during this pandemic. Our residents also patiently adhered to county guidelines, practiced social distancing, and wore masks to help slow the spread of the virus. And I want to thank you again for working with us so beautifully through this time. And your county government, I want to thank all of our employees and everyone who worked in our county government, because they also jumped into action. And we supported newly unemployed residents through the Employee Hourly Relief Fund. The COVID-19 Workforce Development Recovery Program really did spring into action, and a number of programs that provided meals and groceries really did make a powerful difference. We launched the Emergency Rental Assistance Program to help keep residents in their homes. We continue those efforts to this moment, and to help our area businesses and to keep our economy afloat. we set up a number of business relief funds that provided in total more than $41 million to our businesses in grants to small businesses in our county to make sure that they could keep their doors open and keep their employees employed. And our health department, oh my gosh, what an amazing job they did in leading our efforts to keep Prince Georgians healthy, to keep them informed and keep them updated. They made sure from the very beginning that we had adequate testing, and they worked through many challenges also to expand vaccine supply and distribution capacity, and helped us become one of the top counties in the state in terms of vaccinations distribution. So thanks to this collective effort, we have seen tremendous progress in the fight against COVID-19. And we know that the end of this pandemic, thankfully, is within reach. We've reached a point where we can begin easing the safety guidelines that we put into place. But even as we begin reopening and life starts returning to a familiar pace, we know that we still have a ways to go before the effects of COVID-19 are behind us completely. For example, many of our residents are facing financial challenges coming out of this crisis, and many did their part to help overcome this pandemic, but were met with burdensome past utility accounts. This is an issue that we've seen in our county, but also we've seen it across the region. And so the good news is that we are here to help. And as I've said many times before, we are in this together. That will not change. And even as we start returning to a sense of normalcy, you can count on that. We will be in this together. So we'll move forward out of this pandemic as a county, and we'll make sure that no one is left behind or overlooked or falls through the cracks. That is why my administration is committed to working collaboratively with the utility companies to provide relief and assistance to those who need it. This is the purpose, in fact, of tonight's town hall, to get the message out to Prince Georgians that there is help available for you if you need it. And so I want to thank our Department of Social Services. I want to thank WSSC Water, Washington Gas, the Salvation Army, and Pepco for taking time to be a part of this evening's event and for being willing to lend a hand to our residents. And I want to thank all of you as well for joining us this evening. I truly believe that this town hall will be incredibly beneficial as we work to make it to the other side of this pandemic as a community. We have all needed some support at some point during this crisis, so don't be afraid to reach out for help. Please know that we're here for you and that we will continue to be here for you even after COVID-19 has left our community. So I know you'll receive lots of valuable information from this evening participants. Again, I want to thank each of them for participating. They have a wealth of knowledge to share and are willing to help. So please take detailed notes about applications, deadlines, and documentation that you may need in order to take advantage of these available resources. Thank you all again, and I'll hand this program back over now to Brandon Starks, who will serve as our moderator. Thank you so much.
Thank you, County Executive. And we're now going to pull up, Linda, if you could pull up that presentation for us so that we can start to share the information that the County Executive just referenced. Perfect. And our first speaker tonight is Renee Enzer-Pope, the Associate Director at the Prince George's County Department of Social Services. Renee?
Thank you, Brandon, and good evening to the residents of Prince George's County. My name is Renee Enzer-Pope, and I'm the Assistant Director for the Department of Social Services. I'm going to speak to you tonight about two programs in particular that are available to help you with your utility bills. The first is the Office of Home Energy Programs. It's administered by your Department of Social Services. Over on the right-hand side of this screen under the logo, you'll see an email address. If you've already applied for this program and need a case status or have questions about your application, please do email us at that address. The Energy Assistance Program is open now, and it is open for the 2021 fiscal year through June 30. That is a change this year. The program will remain open until the very last day of the fiscal year. It is a year-round program that starts in July of every year and ends in June. So the 2021 year will end in June, and the new program year will start in July. The program eligibility is income-based. You can apply at any time. You are eligible to receive one benefit per year. And it's regardless of when you apply. So if you apply in June for 2021 and are eligible for a benefit, you apply again in July for 2022, you would still be eligible. You're able to get 2 benefits in 2 months, but you won't be eligible again until 2023. You do not need a turnoff notice to qualify for assistance. So it's very important. If you are eligible, apply, get that assistance now so that you have it when you need it. If you'll see at the bottom of the screen, this is our benefits to date. The agency has issued over $12 million to residents of the county. We've provided 77,000 households with heating assistance, just under 8,000 with cooling assistance, another 3,000 with arrearages. And this year, the state allowed us to provide an additional arrearage to any household that received assistance from our organization since February of 2017. So we went back and grabbed those 4 years worth of eligible clients. If they had an arrearage with our utilities, the state issued a full resolution of their arrearage. And so we were able to do that for another 3,800 households in our community. Next slide. This is a little bit small, but when you get your PowerPoint or you have the opportunity to review this again, on the left-hand side of your screen are the income eligibility guidelines for 2021. That's the income limitations by household for the program through June 30 of this year. To the right are the new income guidelines for the FY22 fiscal year, which begins in July. And you will see there are 2 income limitations. The first, the middle section, refers to any family who does not have a member in their household who is age 67 or older. So if you are a household that has no one in the household 67 or older, you would use the income guideline in the middle column. If you have a household member, however, who is over the age of 67, you would use the income maximum in the right column on the right-hand side. So this year, the program has increased from 175% of poverty to allowing for eligibility up to 200% of poverty, provided there is an elderly or aging person in that household. In the bottom yellow box is the link to apply for assistance. You can apply at any time, 24/7, 365. To the left, just at the bottom, are the documents you'll need to submit with your application. So you'll submit your online application, and then you'll upload your supporting documentation using that email address that I pointed out on the previous slide. Send it to us. We'll be able to put the 2 together, review you for eligibility, and assist you with a benefit. Next slide. The second program I wanted to talk about, and the county executive referred to this earlier in her comments, and that is the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. That program is managed by your local Department of Housing and Community Development. In the green box is the link to be able to access that program and apply. That program just received an update that will allow the housing agency to assist customers with past due utility accounts for up to 18 months. This is in addition to the Energy Assistance Program, and this program does allow for utility assistance for WSSC. The previous program only provides heating and cooling benefits, so it does not provide water benefits. If you have a water bill arrearage, this program will be able to assist you with that. Applications for this program are accepted on a rolling basis. Social security numbers, birth certificates, immigration status is not required in order to apply. So this has very broad eligibility. Tenants can apply directly if the utility is in their name, or their landlord can apply if the utility is included in the rent. So there are 2 different ways to apply. In the purple box are the income guideline and the requirements of the program, which does include that the hardship had to have occurred as a result of COVID. So if you have a hardship and it's not a COVID specific hardship or was not caused by the challenges of COVID-19 on your family or your family's financial circumstances, this program would not be for you. The Energy Assistance Program that I referred to earlier, however, does not have a COVID requirement, and therefore, if you are income eligible, you are encouraged to apply. In either case, please make sure that you take advantage of the opportunity now to reach out for assistance to help you with your bills. And at this point, I am going to turn this over to David Sloan. Thank you.
Thanks, Renee. And that was the Alsobrooks administration section of our town hall this evening. We're now going to move to our agency presentations, but I do want to take this moment to do some housekeeping. I want to encourage folks to make sure that they follow Angela Alsobrooks and the administration on Facebook and Twitter at Alsobrooks. That's important because we're going to be delivering the recording and the link to this presentation to you, at least from the administration's standpoint, from Facebook and Twitter. And obviously this will be coming to you from our agency partners. I now want to turn it over and acknowledge Kelly Kaplan, Division Manager, Customer Engagement and Advocacy from WSSC. We really enjoyed working with Kelly and her team, and she's got some information to bring your way. Kelly.
Great, David. Thank you so much. Good evening. As David said, Kelly Kaplan. I am the Customer Engagement and Advocacy Division Manager at WSSC Water, and I'm very happy to be here. Next slide, please. These are the programs that I'm going to talk about this evening. Next slide, please. All right, but I did want to just mention to folks that today, beginning today, late fees will resume for all customer bills generated as of today. So I just wanted to remind folks of that. But for our low-income cap customers, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, we will continue to waive late fees for those specific customers. But just letting everyone know that there are no plans to resume water service shutoffs at this time. So that's very important that I wanted to note. Okay, so let's get into it. So you will see here the website address that has all of the information that I'm talking to you about this evening. This is our bilingual financial assistance flyer that covers everything. It's available on the website. So I just wanted to direct you to that. Next slide, please. All right, so we're going to get into the customer assistance program, the CAP program. This program provides financial assistance, specifically a credit for the fixed fees that currently show up on your water and sewer bills, which could be up to $112 a year. And you heard Renee earlier say that there's expanded eligibility for families that have household members 67 years of age or older. And when folks go to social services to apply for energy assistance, for help with their gas and electric bill, they are automatically then going to be qualified and enroll in our CAP program. So that's an automatic to get help with your water bill. And the great news here is renters are eligible when the tenant pays the bill. And you'll see specifically the website address for this program. Next slide, please. All right, so Renee spoke earlier, but here's all the information of how you apply for our CAP program through the Department of Social Services. Next slide, please. All right, so as Renee indicated, for households that have residents that are not 67 years old, this is the income eligibility beginning July 1st. And the next slide, please. And if for those families that have residents that are at least 67 years or older, here's the annual income. And you will see Renee's slide showed the monthly income. This shows the annual income. So I did not want to confuse folks. And this is the current eligibility guidelines. They will go up a bit beginning July 1st next month. Next slide, please. All right, so the Bay Restoration Fund. This is a fee that WSSC collects on behalf of the state of Maryland. And when you qualify for our CAP program, you're automatically enrolled in this exemption program, which will waive fees up to $60 a year. So between the CAP program and the Bay Restoration Fund, one could get up to $172 a year waived on their water bill. So that money could be used for other important things like medicine or food or things of that nature. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's talk about flexible payment options. The great news is, as everyone has been saying, we are here to help. Right now, we are just encouraging folks to call us, and you can see that there's no minimum payment required to set up a payment plan. And these payment plans are available for residential and commercial customers. And if you're a CAP customer, as one of our low income customers, you could potentially up to 48 months or 4 years spread out your bill. So a payment plan could be established, spread out over 4 years. It's a very generous program. And for our non-CAP customers, that amount that you owe could be spread out up to 36 months or 3 years. So please call us. We want to help and help you get back on the right track. Okay, next slide, please. All right, the water fund. The water fund, and you'll hear a bit more about this from the Salvation Army a bit later, but this program, this nonprofit, was established back in 1994 by WSSC Water employees, which I think is really cool. And it allows up to $500 in emergency assistance per year towards your water and sewer bill. And you could even access it multiple times if needed. It just can't exceed that threshold of $500. As I mentioned, it's administered by the Salvation Army, and you can see the application is available at this website. WSSC pays all of the administrative costs associated with the fund. So any money that gets donated, 100% goes to a family that needs help with their water bill. Next slide, please. All right, and this is the income eligibility for this program. So for example, a family of 3 could make $43,440 and qualify to get this water fund assistance. Next slide, please. All right, and here the Salvation Army, here's all their pertinent information in Hyattsville to reach out and get assistance through the water fund. Next slide, please. All right, and just to give some perspective, since the pandemic began, the Water Fund has provided almost $500,000 to help 3,600 people in Prince George's and Montgomery County. So reach out, call us. We want to be here to help. Next slide, please. I wanted to mention the last item, which is bill adjustments. Residential customers are available once every 3 years under specific and certain circumstances to have their bill adjusted. So for example, if you have a toilet leak, you could potentially be eligible to have that excess water removed from your bill. Next slide, please. All right, and I wanted to just end on conservation and being mindful of your water usage. We know all of us, since this pandemic has begun, we're all spending a lot more time at home. And now that the weather's getting warmer, we're starting to water our lawns, we're filling our pools. So with that being said, we just want to remind people about a few conservation tips. Next slide, please. There's a full listing on the website, which is located here. But one great idea is when you're washing your hands and singing happy birthday, turn that faucet off while you scrub. Just, you know, water is something that we all need, but we can all take part in conserving and saving money on our bills. Thank you very much. I am going to pass the baton on. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. Our customer service center, we are open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. The phone number and the email and the website address are all here. Please reach out. We're here to help. David, I got a little ahead of myself. Back to you.
Thanks, Kelly, so much. Now we're going to hear from our friends at Washington Gas, specifically Deshandra Jones, Senior Director for Customer Experience and Community Engagement. Deshandra?
Thank you, David. As David said, I'm Deshandra Jones, Senior Director of Customer Experience and Community Engagement at Washington Gas. And I want to thank you guys for having us here tonight. This is an extremely important message that we're all sharing, so I'm happy to be able to take part in it. I also wanted to just take a second and thank the County Executive for her continued support and her dedication to the county. Being a resident myself, I absolutely feel that. So I wanted to say a thank you to her. Now, one of the reasons why this is extremely important is, and Kelly mentioned this, Washington Gas has also resumed disconnections. Well, we have resumed disconnections and we have resumed the assessing of late fees. So again, I just want to say, I want to reiterate that at Washington Gas, we are assessing late fees and we have resumed disconnections. And that is the reason why I want to reiterate throughout my presentation to contact us if you are in need of assistance. We have packaged up all of our assistance and all of our programs under the umbrella of Washington CAS Cares. We have created a team. That team reports directly to me, and we focus on proactive outreach. We focus on outbound calls directly to the customer, emails, and all of our other channels to make sure that our residents and our customers who are in need of assistance are matched with the assistance that they need. Next slide. So let's talk about the payment assistance that is available. All residential customers, regardless of where you stand in the process, are eligible for 12 months payment arrangement. The payment arrangement is no questions asked. There is no down payment. And as you see on the slide, there's no security deposit assessed. If you are a LIHEAP participant, then with no questions asked and no deposit, you are eligible for 24 months. Certainly, if you don't need that much time, we can set arrangements for what makes most sense for your budget. But I want to make sure that folks know that 12 months and that 24 months are available with no questions asked. To request a payment arrangement, you just go to our website, washingtongas.com, or you can give us a call without speaking to a customer agent at the 1-844 Washington Gas and go through our IVR and set up that payment arrangement. And you'll also see as you begin to get the electronic bills, if you are an electronic billing customer, that you can certainly sign up right in the bill. And finally, on that washingtongas.com website, you just click payment arrangements. Next slide, please. So the payment arrangements that I mentioned just now really take care of the current situation. I also want to make sure that people are thinking about future situations. So we'll take care of the arrearages or the past due amount, but I want to set our customers up for future success as well. So how do you do that? Budget billing. So by setting your account up on budget billing, you're able to spread out your heating costs over the entire year. So 12-month program, again, it spreads out your heating costs over the 12 months and you know exactly what your bill will be. The second thing is automatic payment plan. And I just like to call it set it and forget it. So if this is something that makes sense for your budget, then setting it up on automatic payment and setting that budget billing plan up will allow you to set the account up for future success. Next slide, please. WAF. So we have also available for our customers, and the Salvation Army will talk about this in detail, our Washington Area Fuel Fund. And we're really, really proud of this. Again, 100% of all donated dollars go to local families in need. What I want to say about the Washington Area Fuel Fund is it's available regardless of the fuel type that you use to heat your home. So whether that's electric or gas. Typically, the program runs from January to May 31st. We are in conversation to see if we can extend that program just based on the current situation. And if any changes are made, we'll make sure to communicate that to everyone. Right now, we have increased the amount that families can receive from $500 to $600 a year, so that's really good. And eligibility for WAF is much like LIHEAP in that it's based on two things: the number of people in your household and your annual gross income. And you'll need only go through the Salvation Army to apply for that. Next slide, please. This program is available for those customers who want to give the gift of warmth. So I've talked about payment assistance and payment arrangements, but if you are in a position to help others, then the gift of warmth will allow you to do that. So it allows any individual the ability to make a utility payment on a specific customer's account, either by name or anonymously, simply by providing the name and service address. And really, it's in place to help lighten the burden of monthly home heating costs. We're really proud of this program as well, as we've been able to help quite a few customers in this past heating season. Next slide, please. One more. So energy efficiency, I'll talk just really briefly about this. You see the website there, and you can also go to washingtongas.com to be directed to this website. It allows you to just put some really brief and really general information in about your home, and the online tool will provide recommendations and savings estimates for you. It also gives you the opportunity to receive energy efficiency toolkits and things that might help make your home just a bit more efficient during the heating season. Next slide, please. Just a few tips. So most folks think of gas, you think of cooking, and you think of heating. So I wanted to just give a few tips that will likely help out on your budget. Tip number one, keep your water heater below 120 using the warm or the low setting. I know folks like really warm showers, really long hot showers and baths, but if you can, keeping it below 120 certainly will save you a little bit. Tip two, wash full loads of laundry and dishes opposed to numerous small loads. And then finally, tip three, use, and you've heard this and seen it, I'm sure, many times, use cold water for laundry and, specially formulated cold water detergents. Doing those three things, taking advantage of that online energy efficiency tool should help, provide some clear paths forward for energy efficiency. Next slide. Finally, just our contact information. So again, if you need to contact us, you can always contact me directly, and you can certainly, you see our customer operations information and our websites. Finally, I'll say just by going to washingtongas.com, all of the information that I've shared tonight will be there for you in easy, accessible clicks. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Desandra, so much.
You bet.
And everyone at Washington Gas for your great work in this area. I want to remind people, again, we're going to be sending out the recording of tonight's presentation and also providing a link to our website where the presentation will be posted for you to take some time and slow down your review of all the information you're receiving. I now want to turn it over to our friends at the Salvation Army. Aliata Dawkins, who is the Program Services Director for the Salvation Army, joins us this evening. Over to you.
Great. Good evening, David. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here this evening to present our program. The Salvation Army has been active in the Prince George's County area for over 50 years. We're located in the Hyattsville area, and we just want to let people know that we are here to support, and we're so happy to be a partner with so many of the other utility partners that are on this call today. So next slide, please. I want to present to you guys our emergency assistance program, which is our umbrella program that houses not only the things that you see on this slideshow, but also works in continuum with Washington Gas, WSSC, and Pepco to provide utility assistance, critical utility assistance in the Prince George's County. In addition to those services that we offer that WSSC and Washington Gas has also presented through the Water Fund as well as WAF, we also provide burial assistance, birth certificate aids, clothing and furniture voucher. And we've seen a desperate increase in the number of food referrals and rental assistance that are needed due to the arrearages that have been built up through the county. Our services have gone virtual. And so we encourage everyone that even if they don't believe that they are eligible to apply for our services, a lot of our programs have been updated. All of these programs are eligible online. You do not have to come in, but our offices are open, and we are open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30. And we are open to supporting any consumer who's in need or any other consumer who may want to inquire about any of the various programs that you see put forth on this slide. Next slide, please. A little bit more about our rental and mortgage assistance program. This is the hallmark program for the Salvation Army and its social services arm. Most individuals are familiar with the Salvation Army for our Kettles program or our Angel Tree program, but we do have a very robust and extensive social services program that provides rental and mortgage assistance through the federal FEMA program, as well as our own internal operation funds. So interested consumers can apply for security deposit, first month's rent, as well as rental arrearages. Of course, there are eligibility requirements for those programs, so that we ask that you will use the link that I'll share at the end of this presentation to be able to access any of those programs that you might find yourself in need. Specifically tonight, we want to focus on our WAF program. Our WAF we have been a partner with the Washington Area Foel Fund for over 35 years, and we are excited to continue the partnership with Washington Gas to be able to provide critical assistance as far as your utilities and being able to work with the customer service agencies at Washington Gas or at Pepco to be able to assist individuals with getting on utility payment plans, or to be able to make pledges towards your account for the amount that was already shared before, whether it's $500 towards WSSC or $600 towards Pepco, or $600 towards Washington Gas or Pepco. In addition to that, we do operate and support the Federal Emergency Food and Shelter Program within the county. And so this will allow us to pay rental mortgages up to 1 month's rent of current rent or mortgage for any Prince George County area residents. In addition to these programs, we also have some seasonal programs, and we know that as schools intend to go back to school in person, there will be an increase in need for school supplies. So the Salvation Army will be doing a back to school drive for uniforms and support with school supplies, as well as we have our own individual summer camp. So we're looking forward to connecting more consumers, specifically in the southern part of the county and around the central parts of the county, to be able to assist more in those areas. Next slide, please. So regardless of what the need is, we just want to let individuals know that the Salvation Army works with a number of partners, those that you see presented here, as well as other ones, to provide services to the community. Our doors are always open. If we don't have a resource, we have case managers. We have our new Pathway of Hope program that is geared to providing case management outside of the walls of our office in a different method. And we want to be able to support individuals any way they need, up to $1,000 in payments for some specific or hardships, such as medical or emergency needs for individuals. So if interested consumers want to apply, or they want to get more information about our program, again, it's open to those who are eligible as well as those who are interested. We ask that you go to our website at www.salvationarmyncac.org/gethelp. Thank you.
Thank you, Aliata. Appreciate all the work that the Salvation Army does. We know that relief and support is your mission 365 days a year, 366 when there's a leap year. And so now we're going to turn to our good friends at Pepco, Mr. Emery Brown, Manager of Outreach and Engagement.
Good evening. My name is Emery Brown, and my team leads the outreach and community engagement in this Pepco. I want to thank County Executive Alsobrooks and Prince George's County leadership and residents for affording us the opportunity to talk to you tonight about the ways we are here to help our customers, and in particular, those who need utility assistance. First, Pepco wants you to know our commitment to our customers. We're advocates for our customers. You know, our job is to engage, educate, and assist our customers with any questions or problems they may have dealing with their bill or other Pepco-related services. And we welcome the opportunity to speak to our customers and clients about important Pepco topics. In short, we understand, we're committed, we are reliable, we're flexible, we're here to help, whether it's billing arrangements or going out into the community to provide information assistance. We are committed to helping our customers get through these challenging times. Next. This slide is just a sample bill. All right, there are two components. On the left side, you see delivery charge. This is the cost to deliver energy to your home. And on the right side, you have the supply charge, the cost to produce electricity. Understanding your bill is a fundamental part of understanding month-over-month fluctuations and the first step to understanding why your bill may change, why it went up, and partially how to manage it. Next. So here we have, a payment arrangement, right? So, we understand that you may be facing difficulties with large bill amounts, especially in these financially challenging times. So one of the most common solutions to dealing with a large balance is payment arrangement plans. Payment arrangement plans cost nothing to set up. And as you can see in the snapshot below, they make reasonably large balances very manageable. We have balances that start, $750 arrearage with past due balance can be made into a more manageable payment with the right payment arrangement. So yeah, I encourage everyone to take advantage of those. Next. Another popular option is budget billing. All budget billing is a payment setup where, in order to avoid seasonal spikes, we calculate a level payment based on your last year's usage, and that will be your payment for the entire year. We may adjust at certain points of the year as needed, and we'll reconcile at the end of the 12-month period. As you can see below, the steps to how it works in the bottom half of the page is pretty straightforward. And enables you to plan your monthly finances, which is critical during this time. Next. Next slide shows some of the federal, I'm sorry, go back a slide, please. Okay, next slide. Okay, yeah, so the next slide shows some of the local assistance programs. So I mentioned before, Washington Area Fuel Fund in partnership with the Salvation Army. We also have ways to donate for customers who are in need. So 2 programs we have are Gifts of Energy, where you can pay a friend or family member's bill, and a Good Neighbor Energy Fund, where you can donate a specific dollar over your Pepco bill. That goes into a fund, and Pepco will match each donation to the fund up to $100,000. Next slide. Yeah, so here we have ways to conserve energy. So I think the critical part of managing your bill is understanding, how daily habits can affect your bill. So the first thing, manage your bill on My Account. So My Account is a good tool to understand how your month-to-date usage is progressing, whether or not you're ahead, whether or not you're on target. That way, when you get a large bill, you will not be surprised. 2, unplug unused electrical devices when you leave a room. You'd be surprised how much leaving that phone charger in will impact your bill. 3, weatherize your home. Keeping the good air in, not you applying caulk. Weather stripping enables you to make sure you don't have drafts or wasting energy just because of simple gaps in old windows, etc. 4, maintain home heating and cooling equipment. Keep them operating efficiently, and you will not waste energy. And last, check your thermostat. Set your thermostat a few degrees lower in the winter and higher in the summer to save energy and lower your energy bill. Next. All right, here are a few of our energy efficiency programs. So we have the Peak Energy Savings Credit. We have energy assessments, which include the Quick Home Energy Checkup Program, the Home Star Performance Energy Star Program, Income Eligible Energy Efficiency Program, Appliance Recycling Programs, Energy Wise Rewards, and various rebates and discount programs. Next. And lastly, from the conservation perspective, we have the a repository for links that you can click on when you get this presentation that will take you to all different programs that I mentioned. If you have any questions, you can go on the link below, which is inclusive of all the different ways to save. Next. All right, last topic that I want to cover, customer protection and scams. So I think it's critical during this time to understand that you always need to be alert for potential scams targeting our customers. All year long, people will try to get information, private information, threaten, disconnect services, given cash incentives to get private information, phishing scams, etc. So the 3 precautions that you can take to make sure that you're not a victim. 1, never provide your social security number or personal information to anyone initiating contact with you, claiming to be a company representative on behalf of Pepco, or requesting you send money. 2, always ask to see a company photo ID before allowing any Pepco worker into your home or business. And 3, never make a payment for services to anyone coming to your door. Protect yourself. Understand that 1, Pepco representatives will never ask or require a customer with a past due balance to purchase a prepaid debit card to avoid disconnection. 2, customers can make payments online, by phone, through automatic bank withdrawal or by mail. And 3, customers with past due balances will receive multiple shutoff notifications. You'll never get a single notification 1 hour before disconnection. That's not the way we work. We will notify you as appropriate, and it will be progressive. Be alert for scammers. If you have any doubt about the validity of a person's claim to represent Pepco, please call us immediately at 202-833-7500. This is important because, like I said, sometimes in desperate times, people will resort to all kinds of tactics. Please be on alert. Next slide. And here are just some contact information to access Pepco. For Maryland customers, you can call OHEP if you need assistance, or go to our website, or you can go to our website, link displayed, and you can call us at 202-833-7500. Next slide. Thank you.
Thanks, Emery, very much. Okay, so we've just heard from our utility partners in the area and the Salvation Army, also from the Department of Social Services here in Prince George's County, and they gave you a lot of information, I know. So I'm going to do some housekeeping again. I'm going to remind everyone to please follow us at CEX Alsobrooks on Twitter and Facebook, and expect to see the recording of tonight's utility assistance town hall, an information session coming your way, and a link to our website. And while we go into some pre-registered Q&A, I want to leave up the contact information for everyone who you've heard from for an extended period of time, in case you want to take notes even before you get the video of tonight's presentation. And I also want to highlight that we got questions from across the county. We've done a job here of just plucking out a few for tonight that we'll kind of walk through, that represent, I think, what folks are mostly thinking about. But the general inbox for questions for the county executive's town hall program is pgctownhalls@co.pg.md.us. That's pgctownhalls@co.pg.md.us. And again, you know what you might be in the need of. And so we're going to leave the contact information here for all of our friends who you heard from this evening at WSSC, Washington Gas, Salvation Army, Pepco, and the Prince George's County Department of Social Services. So our first question will go to DSS, and I'll read it off here for Renee. I applied for energy assistance online and placed numerous calls to have someone return calls. I entered the site to check the status, and no record could be found that I received a control number. So I think, Renee, this is about just coordinating and reaching out to our office for information and the best way to do that.
Yeah, so that particular case is a specific case, so I would ask that they provide us with that information separately through the same process they use to submit their question, and we'll look into that individual case. But in the event that a citizen has checked for the status of their application, they're not able to determine what it is, or they need to reach someone with respect to the status of their case because it's not coming up for them online, they should email us at the pgcdss.energy@maryland.gov. We monitor that email consistently. That's where our customers submit their documentation, their supporting documentation. So we're constantly monitoring that email. We went through a telephonic change out. So some of our telephone linkages and routings were not completely bridged. So customers may be calling us when we may not actually be getting those calls. So that is is an email address that we monitor 24/7. And we do have staff monitoring that, and we will take care of a response to their inquiries. That's the best way to get a hold of us right now.
Thank you, Renee. Our next question to Pepco about the Pepco Smart Green net metering. And the question is, and I quote, "Hot month, my smart meter reversed itself. Why did Pepco charge me for electricity when my meter reversed?" Throw it over to Emery.
Yes, so customers who generate their own electricity with renewable energy sources, they can interconnect with the electric grid. So a special net capable meter measures the energy a customer uses off the grid, and then the excess generation that the renewable system provides into the grid, then calculates the difference or the net. So customers in Maryland see a negative energy consumption in the excess generation summary section of the bill, showing the excess generation carryover history. So the excess is carried over month to month until it's used or until the customer's anniversary payout date occurs. So, if that's usually the way it works. If there are additional issues, the customer needs to reach out to us, and we have provided our contact information.
Thank you, Emery, so much. Our next question is, I think, directed to whoever wants to answer, but we'll start with the Salvation Army and anyone else who wants to tackle it. Will assistance be available on this day, today? Can you apply? Aliata?
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. You can apply for assistance right now. All of our services are virtual. They're online. You can access any one of our programs with the contact information you see on your screen right now, or through our partnerships with WSSC, Pepco, and Washington Gas. You can go to the Salvation Army, ncac.org/gethelp to receive those applications and to be able to fill them out and send them in.
Thank you, ma'am, very much. Okay, and then our last question, which I think, Aliata, I'm coming back to you. Are landlords able to apply for utility assistance on behalf of their tenants? If someone else wants to tackle that question to help, that's fine as well.
Currently with the Salvation Army, for our partner programs, landlords are not eligible to apply for utility assistance on behalf of the consumer. What the landlord can do is work with our case manager, our social workers, to be able to coordinate support for that consumer. And we'll be happy to reach out to that consumer to tell them about the eligibility requirements, as well as the other programs and partners that we have to be able to provide supportive services to them. So all the landlord needs to do either to contact us directly or go directly to our website that I just repeated, and that is listed on the contact information to be able to get the support they need.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, and the last question, which would be a surprise, but I know the answer is yes. Would everyone here agree to come back, in several months if we want to do this again to update information on programs? I think the answer is yes.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Looks like we've got 100% commitments. All right. So it is going on 7:30. It's been about an hour, and that's how much time we have. So I'm just going to close this out. Number one, again, the housekeeping here. One, you have all the contact information for everyone who you heard from tonight in front of you. We're going to send out the recording of tonight's utility assistance town hall to everyone who's following the county executive at CEX Alsobrooks on Facebook and Twitter. Also, like if you're, if you're being serviced by one of these providers, you will be seeing traffic via social and maybe email from them. So please keep your eye out there. We're going to try and reach you any way we can. And so we do want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. Renee, Kelly, Deshandra, Aliata, and Emery, representing DSS and WSSC, Social Services, Washington Gas, the Salvation Army, and Pepco. We really appreciate all of your personal time on this and all of the organizational energy that you all have put in to trying to bring relief to Prince Georgians who need it. I hope again you'll follow us on @Alsobrooks on Twitter and Facebook. Said it again. And please take the time to not only use this information yourselves, but to spread it to your neighbors and help us all remain Prince George's proud. Everyone have a great evening. Thank you so much.